What is up, you guys? This is All Day 1 on the PS4, and I'm going to be giving you another Assassin's Creed Odyssey build video. And with this build video I'm going to be giving you is going to be another hunter build. But with this particular hunter build, you are also going to be using warrior abilities. So I guess in a sense it's more of a hunter-warrior build, but with high amounts of crit chance, crit damage, so that will allow you to still be able to dish out a lot of damage with the warrior build and be able to assassinate enemies too. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the abilities and the weapons and gear that I'm using. So I'm using the Golden Harbinger, and you get this from the DLC. The first DLC is going to be from the 3rd episode though, and then you're going to want to use the Atlantean Blade, and then I have an epic bow, and then all epic gear. So with the Harbinger, the Golden Harbinger, it's going to give you hunter damage, which is really good, and then it's the only weapon, melee weapon, that has headshot damage as well. And then you're going to also get that 1% health restored on headshots, which isn't bad. It doesn't really, I mean, I don't really notice it that much. I'm not worried about it, but it's not a bad legendary perk, but there's definitely better ones that you could use that could increase your damage. And then I threw on the 45% crit damage, so obviously it's going to be capped out at 50%, so if you have that, then throw that on. And then with the Atlantean Blade, it's going to give you hunter damage and then crit damage as well as armor penetration. So all three of those are going to be very important to have on the hunter build. And then I decided to throw on the 25% damage on elites and bosses. So if you don't want to do that, you could always throw the Fox of Olympus on if you want to get more damage, but you'll be very, very glass cannon like. And then on the bow, it's going to have hunter damage, crit chance, headshot damage, and then I threw on that 30% damage while full health. So like I said, if you have Fox of Olympus and you want to use that instead, you can use that instead of the 30% damage while full health, because you only get this engrave from the Nemean Lion Claw, and that's either bought in the Helix store or getting lucky with the Oikos vendor. Now for all of my epic pieces, on my headpiece I have hunter damage, all damage, crit chance while full health, and crit damage. So that's very nice to have, which is pretty much a straight up damage. It would have been better if that all damage was replaced with headshot damage though. So it would have been nice to have hunter damage, headshot damage, crit chance while full health, and crit damage. And then for the arms, I have hunter damage, and then crit damage while full health, crit damage, the base crit damage, and then I threw on crit chance. For the torso, it has hunter damage, crit damage, and then all damage, and then I threw on the vanish ability, intoxicates enemies. So that ability, or that perk, comes from the Darius set. So the Darius set in general, it's an alright gear set. I wouldn't really recommend using the whole set, but the legendary set itself is really nice, it's really good. And then for the waist, I have warrior damage, crit damage while full health, and crit chance. And then I threw on the Nemean Lion set bonus, which gives me 5% crit chance and 25% crit damage while full health, which is really nice, helps out a lot with the crit damage output. And yes, it is warrior damage. I am still doing warrior damage in general. I don't need extremely high hunter damage because I will have a high amount of crit damage and crit chance. And then on my boots, I have hunter damage, and then 90% crit damage while full health, 18% crit chance while full health, and then I threw on that 10% intoxicated damage, weakening damage and weakening effect, which is going to really be useful when you're trying to debuff the enemy. It's going to help a lot with debuffing the enemies. Now for my abilities, I have Devastating Shot, 3 out of 3. Multi-shot, I will end up getting this at 3 out of 3 once I get my next ability point. And then 3 out of 3 on Sixth Sense, 3 out of 3 on Archer Mastery, 1 out of 3 on Overpowered Bow Strikes, 3 out of 3 on Ghost Arrows of Artemis. And then right here I have Weapons Master and Gear Master maxed out, as well as the Shadow Assassin for those passives. I'm using Shield Breaker and Ring of Chaos, as well as the Fury Bloodline for just melee damage output, especially the Ring of Chaos just for CC effects and whatnot. So if there's a bunch of enemies on me and I just need them to back off and my Vanish is on cooldown, I could just use Ring of Chaos, knock them away from me so I can get some room. And then Shield Breaker, because I'm not going to be using the arrow piercing shields legendary perk anymore. So the shield breaker is definitely going to help out going against the guys with the big shields that generally block their face a lot. It's going to help a lot. And then Fury of the Bloodline, I only ever use this to build up adrenaline. So if you're ever on your last adrenaline segment, don't use it on any other ability except for Fury of the Bloodline, so that way you can get 4 extra adrenaline back. It's not going to do a lot of damage, and it never crits either. The only time it will crit is obviously if you don't get the whole animation going. So if you're going against like a giant or one of the mythical bosses like the like Stirrups or Argus, or if you use it on an animal, then it'll hit just once and it'll have a high crit chance, or not high crit chance, but it will crit more than likely. And then Second Wind, I only really use Second Wind if I need to rinse off the elemental effects, or if I just need to get my health back to full, because obviously you're going to be benefiting more when your health is at full. So yes, Vanish is going to allow you to automatically proc the toxin on the enemies, but you still want to get the venomous attacks maxed out, as well as getting poison mastery maxed out. The reason why you want to get venomous attacks maxed out is because Vanish is like a 20-second cooldown still, and having venomous attacks is going to help you out in the long run as well, just being able to still hit multiple enemies or proccing multiple enemies with the poison. And then you're going to also get slow time, because slow time just helps you a lot. So here's how what melee wheel looks. I have the poisonous or the venomous attacks, and then my second life, Battlecry of Ares, and slow time. This is basically like my defensive set, and then my offensive or my melee set is Vanish, Fury of the Bloodline, Ring of Chaos, and Shield Breaker. Now for my mastery points, I have 8 out of 20 on hunter damage. I do plan on getting at least 15 out of 20 eventually. And then I'm at 8 out of 20 on crit chance, 12 out of 20 on crit damage, 12 out of 20 on headshot damage, and then 8 out of 20 on adrenaline on headshot kill. Now for the warrior, I am only putting points into damage dealt restored as health, 8 out of 20. And then for the assassin, 8 out of 20 on poison weakening effect, so I'm looking at 13% poison weakening effect. And then crit chance while full health is at 15 out of 20, 15 out of 20 on crit damage while full health. Damage while full health is at 8 out of 20. Adrenaline per crit is at 8 out of 20. And then 8 out of 20 on damage on elites and bosses. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you my stats. So I'm only at level 84, just keep that in mind. So if I'm at around, if I were to get a 99, my stats would be a little bit better because of how many more points I would have. But I'm at 76% warrior damage, 58% assassin damage, 198% hunter damage, 250% headshot damage, which is not bad at all. It's really nice. 46% crit chance base, 345% crit damage at its base, which is really good for being its base, and then 96% crit chance while full health on its base, 685% crit damage while full health on its not base, but yeah, at the full health. So once I'm at level 99, I can imagine myself getting to at least 100%, at the very least 98% crit chance while full health, and then 700% crit damage while full health. And then for, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, 24% adrenaline per crit and adrenaline on headshot kill. And then as you can see, my unique modifier is 30% armor penetration, 25% damage on elites and bosses, 10% intoxicated damage and weakening effect. Vanish ability intoxicates enemies, 1% health restored on headshots, and then 30% damage while full health. So that's pretty much it with this build. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know down in the comment section as well. If you have any other build ideas that you'd like to see, let me know down in the comment section as well, and I'll try my best to try to make them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess that's where I'm gonna end it. That's all day, any day one on the PS4. Have a good day, good night, and enjoy the rest of the clip.